Greetings and welcome back to The Pride. My name is Muphasa El Matador. They call me the Curious Cat. My job is pretty simple. I help grow your conviction. Conviction to buy, conviction to sell, conviction to hold. And today we're looking at Nike, NKE. Out here in The Pride, we only invest in trends that are going to last the next decade or more. And today's trend is sports. I'm grateful to the Greeks for giving us philosophy. However, they also blessed humanity with formal sports. Ever since the first athletes graced the scene of the Olympics of 776 BC, sports has been an intricate part of our lives for the last 3,000 years. And Nike is the world's leader of the athletic apparel market. My question to you is this: do you see a future where people stop playing sports? If your answer is no, do you see a future where people play sports without shoes? Let me know in the comment section below. Like and subscribe and join me as we explore Nike as a company. We do the financial analysis as well as the technical analysis, and all the links will be below. If you like content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out all of our videos in the link above. Nike is a beast of a company, but they have a simple business. They just do it. They design, develop, and market authentic athletic apparel, footwear, equipment, and accessories in 6 major categories: running, basketball, soccer, training, sportswear, and Jordans. Their brands include the Air Jordans, the Converse, and they recently acquired RTFKT to give them access to the metaverse. Nike is a wide moat company, and this wide moat is attributed to the intangible brand assets that Nike holds. They maintain premium pricing, and they've done this for the last 20 years. Nike is the largest athletic footwear brand in the entire world, especially in major categories like running and basketball. They have the most popular shoes like the Jordans, and these are sold in all the major markets in the world, over 100 countries, and they continue to dominate. This company is going to continue to do this for decades to come, and they can command high profit margins because of the nature of their business and their brands. Foot Locker actually has Nike as the only company to have multiple different designs, over $170 per pair of shoes. I actually was going through my research and I found out that farfetch.com also lists dozens of styles of Nike sneakers at prices above $1,000 a pair. And that's not all. Nike also sells older and limited edition shoes that are reselling for $10,000 a pair. The numbers show that Nike holds the position as the world's preferred sportswear brand since the 80s and will hold that title for decades to come. This is a truly amazing business, and I believe that their adjusted return on invested capital, including goodwill, that have averaged over 35% for the last decade, and revenue of $44 billion with steady increase for the last 9 to 10 years, puts them in a position to continue to dominate. Numbers speak for themselves. Nike is a beast, and I'm going to go through the bullish case, the bearish case, the risks, as well as all of my analysis. Stick with me. The bullish case for Nike is filled with double-edged swords, the first of which is China. With more than 70% of the expected growth to come from outside North America over the next 5 years, China is going to play a pivotal role to the bottom line of Nike. As long as the middle class and upper middle class continue to patronize Nike, they're going to be swimming in dough. The second being the pandemic. In my opinion, it's been a gift and a curse to Nike, as the triple-double strategy has continued to increase innovation, direct-to-customer sales, and this has exceeded expectations, especially in the digital channel. As long as that trend continues, Nike is set to dominate with automation, e-commerce, and premium pricing. All of this will put Nike in a position to dominate going forward, and we're here for it all the way. The bears have a weak argument against Nike, but I like to hear them out. Most of the arguments above are all pandemic related, and I have to agree that the retail landscape is changing, but Nike is also aware of this. 5 years ago, they implemented the triple-double strategy, and we can see currently that they're exceeding expectations. If you add all of the sales from Lululemon and Adidas put together, they do not come close to Nike. I'm not saying that that is not something to be watchful for, but I do believe that Nike is still positioned to dominate. However, the numbers don't lie. Tomorrow, March 21st, we will be receiving the earnings report, the Bulls versus the Bears. Tell me which side you're on in the comment section, and let's go check out the risks associated with Nike. All investments come with risk. No risk, no reward, and Nike is no exception to that rule. We assign a medium uncertainty rating to Nike because most of the challenges that we see with Nike today are pandemic related. The closure of physical retail stores in the United States as well as across the world are all pandemic related. And we expect that to be transitional. We expect things to go back to normal once the pandemic is a thing of the past. The same thing applies to the supply chain issues as all multinational companies are feeling the heat. We expect things to continue into 2022, but a resolution will come. And when that happens, we can see Nike going back to pre-pandemic levels, which makes it a buy the dip opportunity in all honesty. Finally, the athleisure trend is being dominated by Lululemon. They're a narrow moat company, and I can see Nike tackling this with their designs as well as their brands going forward. Right now, they haven't addressed that situation, and that is something to look at. Beyond that, I can see Nike doing really well going forward, but these are things to know, things to consider going. Perfect. I like to start by looking at the year range of Nike. You can see that Nike traded all the way to the bottom of the ocean at $116 and as high as $179 over the last 52 weeks. With the market cap of $207 billion, you can see this is a beast of a company. The P ratio of 34 is quite high. We would have to look at the comparison with all the competition before we can actually say for sure how bad or how good that is. Dividend yield of 0.93% is pretty low, but you know if you pay your boy to hold, your boy is going to hold. With that said, let's jump in and see the financials. On a quarterly basis, you can see that we have some consistency going here for Nike. 11 billion in the last earnings report and 1 billion in net income. A profit margin of 11.77% is pretty decent. You already know out here, we look at 10% as stellar. Anything above that, we take it. And I like the cost of revenue going down at 6 billion. Cash and cash equivalents a whopping 10.7 billion. They're handling their debt really well and they're positive for their cash flow. All of these things are really good for any company. Nike is no exception to that rule. We can see them continue to dominate. I like these headlines. They really passed the resistance test. And I proved that right here with the annuals, right? So if you look at the annual numbers for Nike, you would see a true story. It's all in the numbers. If you look at the annuals, you can see 2017, 2018, 2019, under 40 billion in revenue. The pandemic came and they were still under 40 billion. Post-pandemic, they went above 40 billion, and I can see them really clocking the 45, 50 billion for 2022, and that would take them to new highs over the last 5 years. 44.54 billion in 2021, net income of 5.7 billion, a whopping 12.86% in net profit margin. This company, again, if you remember that the bearish argument was all about the pandemic and its effects on the business, the risks associated with the company were all around the pandemic. You can see that this company is ready to dominate. Nike just swapped out more than 900 million of Foot Locker's market value because of their new strategy to go direct to consumer. Foot Locker is no longer one of their vendors. If you're invested in Foot Locker, that's definitely something you need to know. Nike's pandemic resistance tested. Upcoming earnings call reveal level of resilience. We're ready for that. It's Bulls versus Bears out here. Let me know in the comment section which side you're on. With that said, I'm going to do a competition analysis. I have Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, and Lululemon. I'm going to start with Lululemon on this side. You can see that Lululemon has a $310 current price. It can drop as low as $260. or it can trade as high as 520. That's 64%. I think the price for this stock is significantly high because the market cap is just 40 billion, excuse me. If you look at the market cap compared to Nike of 207 billion, it's easy to see that if you add Adidas, Under Armour, and Lululemon together, they are not even close to the market cap of Nike. Beast of a company. They pay a dividend of 0.93% for Nike, 1% for Adidas, no dividends for Under Armour and Lululemon. If I'm going to pay $310 for a stock, I would like you to pay me some dividend. With that said, Nike's got my attention. The EPS of 3.83 is pretty good. 5.1 on Adidas is actually shocking. 0.77 on Under Armour makes me not want to touch that particular stock. 6.66 on Lululemon, very interesting. PEG ratio of 1.68 is quite good. That shows there's a lot of growth anticipated for Lululemon going forward. 2.42 for Nike. I expect that the next earnings report will bring that PEG ratio down, as I see a lot of growth going forward for Nike, but those numbers have to come in. They have to come in. It's all about the numbers when you're looking at these things. With that said, you can look at all the companies in tandem and see that current price of 131, low price target of 140 gives you 6% from where we're currently trading. And remember, the price target, fair market value, I should say, is $132. The high price target of 202 gives us 54% from where we're currently trading. We would expect 8% going up if it's bullish news tomorrow, 8% coming down if it's bearish. These are what we expect in the Pride. With all of this said, I hope that I've been giving you guys the conviction to buy, hold, or sell. Let's jump into the technicals. Awesome. We're going to wrap up this video by looking at the technical analysis of Nike. First thing that caught my attention was this is the first time since the pandemic of 2020 that Nike has traded into it literally went under 30% with the RSI, which is very bearish momentum. You can see right here, 16th March 2020, almost 2 years to the day, Nike was trading in the bottom of the ocean. At that time, Nike's price was sitting at $60. If you had bought when everybody was panicking, even today, you would be up 100% on that trade after 2 years. Nike's fair market value is currently $132. You can see that it broke and found support right under the $118 thereabout, and it bounced. And this is a weekly candle, so you can see that the momentum just came back in. Earnings are supposed to be reported tomorrow, so you can see something like this if the earnings are bullish in 1 week, or you can see it retrace back to support at $118. We have a buy up to at the profit team of $129 at the ice line. We have strong ice at $148. Resistance is currently sitting at the 52-week high of $179. Whew, you can see this convergence right now, and that usually signifies the change in the trend. With all of this coming together, you can see this break down some more to 110 level before going back up. But tomorrow is the day. If the Bulls win tomorrow, if you have good forward guidance from Nike, you can see this thing blow all the way to my ice line of 148 within the next 7 days. We're expecting 8% upside for the Bulls, 7% downside for the Bears. My job is to give you conviction to buy, hold, and sell. With all the information presented today, you can make your decision before market opens tomorrow. If you would like to see how we at the Profit Team are playing this, hit the Patreon link in the description and come join the Pride. We're an amazing team of investors, researchers, and analysts. We do the simple things consistently. With all of that said, it's Muphasa El Matador. Peace.